This is John King. I'm speaking with Chris Polonis. He's a member of the VA. He works with vet-to-vet groups here in Missoula. And I understand you've heard some complaints from some of the vets.
And I'm a Vietnam veteran. So
A Vietnam veteran as well.
The Marine Corps, yeah.
And I understand that you've heard some complaints about parking in Missoula after a federal government shuffle. Can you tell us kind of what's going on here?
Well, number one, we have limited space for our clinic where it is right now. Where they're proposing to move it would be one block east of Higgins on East Pine, the old forestry building, which is next to the post office and the federal courthouse, which has literally no parking for blocks and blocks. That is where Washington, D.C. says that they want them to move because it's a vacant government building, rather than staying where they are and using additional space that's vacant where they are now.
So it's kind of a rock and a hard place. Right now it doesn't really work, and the new location doesn't have enough parking. I understand a lot of these vets will probably have difficulty walking if they have to park far away. Is that right?
Well, they'll not only have difficulty parking, but a lot of the groups, let's say, that are from the Korean War that are in their 70s and 80s, you know, they're wheelchair, they're on walkers, they can't walk that far. You have veterans, a lot of them with physical injuries that came back from the current conflicts, you know, that might have an amputation or some other type of injury. They also have TBI, traumatic brain injury, which TBI makes it difficult for them to go from A, B, C, D, you know? So if you're 4 blocks away and say, park over here, and then take a right, take a left, take a right, that will completely confuse them to the point where, you know, they won't do it, and, you know, they just won't do it. Then you have, you know, the great amount of them that is probably 30% or better that have post-traumatic stress disorder.
Do you know if any of these issues were brought up to Secretary McDonald when he was in town?
Sure.
And what was his response?
I wasn't there to get his response.
Oh, okay.
I wished I was, and I would doubt if he gave a response. You know, he was on a 200 facility United States tour to try to figure out what the problems are everywhere.
Right.
You know, and because of these issues, the last couple of years, the Montana healthcare system was number 1 in the United States. Because of these issues, they have dropped down to 126 out of 128.
Oh, wow. When you say these issues, you're talking about?
These issues of not having, enough professionals, not having office spaces, not having, the ability to conduct all of the things that are necessary for the above, situations the veterans are faced with.
Now, you said that there's empty rooms or space not far from the current location?
Oh, they're right next door to the next building. They have been vacant for quite a while, just waiting for the VA to, to move in.
And do you know why they don't want to use that?
Because the GSA has made it a point to say if there's any federal building that is vacant, they're to be used first.
I see.
No matter what the circumstances.
So, in other words, the space that's near the VA clinic now is not a federal building. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay. I understand. Well,
and the interesting thing, the place that they want to move two, the forestry department vacated it because the rent, the lease was so high they couldn't afford it.
Wow. Now, as far as the local vets are concerned, is there a place for them to voice their concerns over this potential move?
Not really. We had a town hall meeting. We haven't had another one. We had a town hall meeting when the new director showed his face about 4 months ago, but that really wasn't a primary issue. I know that the chief down here at Seebach, who's my doctor, and I know all of the nurses and doctors. I have quite a few medical, situations I need to have taken care of. All of them, are just so much against this. But where do they voice? The morale is so low that my organization and others are trying to do things to better build up their morale.